hive cluster is under attack.
For the swarm.
Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be an off-racing, super amazing game featuring Flash and SOULKEY. Did you hear me say off-racing? It's top right. It's going to be Flash off-racing as Zerg, and the bottom left it's going to be SOULKEY off-racing as Terran. Wow. All right, man. So it's been a while since I've cast an off-racing game of any kind, so thank RJB because he snuck this out from his giant replay folder and said, you gotta cast this. So I will. This is not a very recent game because Flash has not been around for a couple of years now, but whatever, man. It is Flash playing Zerg against SOULKEY playing Terran. Alright, what's the play? What's the play going to be here on Eclipse, right? It's a fun map. It's not like Third World where you're locked out of the top half of the map. You have access to everything. But it is kind of cool. It's all space platformy up here, and then it's all like jungle terrainy down here, and it's just, you know, just it feels like you're on two different maps sometimes. But you know, when I play StarCraft, I don't really pay attention to like the terrain or what color the ground is or if there's a tree over here, right? My brain just has nothing to do with that. All I'm focused on is macro, focused on scouting, focused on battling. I just don't. There's no time. There's no time in StarCraft to be like, oh, look at the detail on this little sprout of grass here. You know, you just don't do it. Anyway, Barrick's coming in from SOULKEY. Not going to try to proxy Flash on a two-player map. Hatch first in it here at about 11 or 12 supply is Flash. All's well that ends well. Yeah, remember that ASL where Flash went random and we freaking almost won it? There's a great video about it. Who was it? Who put out that video? I don't know. It's probably like Tasteless or Artosis or somebody who's like super steeped into Brood War and has been since the beginning of time. I mean, I've been with Brood War since the beginning of time. I just haven't been casting it or playing it at the professional level since the beginning of time, like Artosis and Tasteless have been. Day 9 is back with Brood War. I'm so happy. I mean, he's taking the week off right now or last week because his cat died tragically. I don't know the details, but he's pretty bummed about it. So anyway, yeah, he's just kind of rotating through Blizzard games and like Magic the Gathering and stuff right now. So he did a World of Warcraft thing where he'd never played WoW, I think is the gimmick here. So we played a classic server and I was like, okay, yeah, I get this. Basics, game design. Right, go kill 10 wolves. Here's a new ability. Learn how to use it. Slowly progressing. You know, learning more about the world around you. The map opens up. It's really fun to explore. It's like, I took that like 10 straight hours of that. Like, it sucks you in. And I'm like, yeah, that's classic World of Warcraft. It's great. And then the other day, he started playing WoW Retail. And he's like, what is this garbage? Like, why in your tutorial? It's an official tutorial for the game. Like, new account, new player, do this thing, it says. Wow, creep colony this early, huh? That seems aggressive. Ah, it is a factory. What did he sniff? What did he see to make him know this is a... Maybe the timing. Maybe it's the timing here. He's like, okay. There were some buildings that came up here before the command center, so let's get a sunken out because there's probably a vulture coming out soon. Which there is. And my gosh, this is not a Valkyrie rush, is it? I saw somebody do this in ASL a couple weeks ago. But I think you have the second gas if it's a Valkyrie rush. Maybe one Valkyrie? I don't know. Anyway, point is, Day 9's like, man, retail. It throws you all over the place. There's tons of talking getting thrown at you. You're meeting people that you'll maybe never see again, it feels like. And he's like, but once you start playing, it's pretty fun. I'm like, okay, fair. But then I watched him as a mage tank like 5 NPCs and not die. And I was like, okay, so in my day, it's just a Wraith. Okay, interesting. So Wraith opening, not a 2-port Wraith or anything. But in my day, mages couldn't deal with anything more than like 2 NPCs without dying. And he had to like crowd control one of the NPCs. So he's just like taking hits from 5 NPCs, just wailing on him as he's like running around and trying to AoE them to death, and it's working. And I'm like, okay. So this is why I stopped playing WoW, is because you can't die. Like, it's super hard to die when you're leveling. And I understand the raids and the dungeons are still fairly difficult, I guess. But, yeah, it is a second port. What the heck, you madman? It's down here. When I was like, it's not a second port at all. It's totally a second port. Okay, fine. 2-port Wraith opening. SOULKEY's, he says, you know what I hate? Is 2-port Wraith openers. It's like, okay, well, let's use it against Flash, I guess. Anyhow, yeah, Day9 just basically put into, words my experience with World of Warcraft. I'm currently playing a private Wrath of the Lich King server because I think that's pretty much where Warcraft peaked for me. It's great, man. Leveling from 1 to 80, killing the Lich King. Like, that's WoW for me. It is. By the way, this Wraith is dead. But sure. Got an Overlord kill. That's nice, I guess. Yeah, working on Cloak. Not done yet. See, but I just... I don't know. 2-port Wraith here is a little bit tough against a 2-base Mutalisk opening that Flash is going for, right? We saw the Spire come up. We know what this is. It's freaking ZVT. Flash is not doing anything crazy. SOULKEY is, though. Alright. Flash's Muta control, honestly, is just unfair how good it is, considering he doesn't main Zerg. He's crazy, man. I wish he'd come back. Alright. We have enough Mutas to dive bomb in here. He's got some Scourge because he knows the Wraiths are around, but they've got Cloak now. And he does have an Overlord down here, too. A little bit hard to see. A little bit camouflaged. Alright, Scourge. Nice. Nice snipe on those Scourge, SOULKEY. You absolute boss. And then the Cloak comes in, and the Overlord's like, wait, hang on a second. I am needed. I am needed in this location. Yeah. Yeah. Man, we're just going to lose all these Mutalisks. Dude, it's a 2-port Wraith opening. We're getting Queen play. We're researching. Gotta be researching Ensnare for these Wraiths, right? I don't know if any more Wraiths have died after that first one, but like a bunch of Mutas have gotten really injured and died, and Scourge have died too. Third base coming up, 12 o'clock spot here from Flash. Wraiths on the hunt. They're like, can we kill this Overlord, or is this bait? No, you can have this Overlord say the Mutas. We're not going to try to save him. Supply blocked again. This hurts, man. Flash, he's losing Overlords. He's not getting as much harassment done as he wants to with these Mutas because these Wraiths and these turrets are looking good. Like, okay, let's just say SOULKEY's Wraith micro. Maybe the principle is the same, right? Maybe Muta micro and Wraith micro is not that different. They're both flying. They both are kind of harassment units. They're both squishy. So you don't want to stand there and just fight at something. You want to, there's the Ensnare. You want to back and forth hit them, right? Metabolic boost coming in a little bit late, but again, against 2-port Wraith, you really don't want Overlords, or you don't need metabolic boost that fast. Ling speed. We're just moving into looks like some normal SK Tyranny type stuff. I mean, more Wraiths are popping out, so it's not exactly normal, but a science facility is coming in. I imagine these starports will start making science vessels rather than Wraiths. Cloaked Wraiths, middle of the map, man. This is like when Corsairs catch Mutas in the middle of the map like this. Or Valkyries. You just kind of have to split off and run. Dude, SOULKEY. SOULKEY. This is some of the most effective 2-port Wraith shenanigans I've ever seen. Dude, he's going to supply block Flash again. He catches a huge Ensnare, though. It slows him and reveals him, which means the Scourge can connect. The Mutas can chase down. The Scourge can obliterate. Oh my gosh, that was insane. Flash was in so much trouble. Oh my gosh. Wow, that ensnare lasts forever too, doesn't it? You forget how long it lasts because you never see it. Flash throws down a zizu. An Ultralisk Cavern coming in. You know, Ultras against Wraiths, I'm okay with it. Hey, look, Science Vessels are getting added in. We got Marines. We have Medics now. This is good stuff. We're moving to SK Terran, adding Fire Bats into the mix here, so it's not SK Terran because we have a giant Wraith Ball. Well, we had a giant Wraith Ball. Goodness gracious me. And then the follow-up of SOULKEY is going after this third base. But, well, it's a lot of Sunkens at the top there. That's a tough, yeah. SOULKEY's like, not without siege tanks. We're probably not breaking that one. Or dropships maybe would be cool. Ultralisks are on the way from Flash. He's getting chitinous plating now. This is crazy. This is so fun. We do not get off-racing games all that much, let alone involving Flash, let alone involving SOULKEY off-racing too. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Reddit and share my stuff. I post stuff. I'm going to post this stuff out on r/Brood War and r/StarCraft. And on my own personal subreddit too, r/Falcon Paladin. Neat stuff, neat stuff. But seriously, upvote it. Share it. Come on. You don't get to see this stuff on other Brood War channels. When's the last time you saw an off-racing Flash, off-racing SOULKEY ZVT? Huh? Be honest. Be honest. Anabolic Synthesis is on the way for these Ultralisks. Fire Bats are like, Ultras are on the way, huh? Not my cup of tea. No, not your cup of tea at all, sir. Lings are checking for dropships coming down this way, or little groups of Marines heading there, but SOULKEY is very much close to home. He's not getting a third base either, which I am concerned about for him. So scans in, sees a macro hatch, Ultralisk Cavern he probably already knew about. I'm not sure any of this is really that surprising to SOULKEY. Yeah, fourth base coming up with a little bit of a Ling escort here too. Very nice from Flash. Whew. All right, we're coming on in. Oh my gosh, ensnare this giant group of Marines. It slows their attack speed and their movement speed. But Flash doesn't want to. He's falling back. And he's like, no. No. This is not working. This is not working at all. All right, SOULKEY's got to do something. He needs a third base or it needs to move. Sitting here on two bases and being like, I'm trying to max out on two bases is not working. High ground is taken. Ooh, I like this idea. So Zerg comes through here, attacks this, and then we, bam, we pincer him. Or maybe we get pincered by the Zerg coming in left. Oh, gosh. Okay, Lings are like, you're up there. Yeah, and Flash immediately goes, let's surround this group. There's the ensnare that gets tossed down. Ultralisks, rah, 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 rah. Fire Bats doing their best. Another ensnare goes down. Science Vessels catching Scourge. This group is not happy, as they should not be. My gosh, we get ensnare. We get a giant ball of Wraiths. I think SOULKEY has lost this game at this point. He's down too much. His entire medic ball gets reset. You can't even run because they're ensnared. Oh, actually, you can. The ensnare wore off. That's how long that battle lasted, everyone. My gosh. Oh yeah, these Ultralisks are still here. 4 kills, 8 kills, 3 kills, 11 kills. Oh, expanding again up the top left here is Flash. I mean, come on. Come on, this game's over. Flash has completely outplayed SOULKEY here. The ensnare catch on his Wraith Ball was it. That was it. SOULKEY had invested way too much into those Wraiths. And once they got ensnared and all murdered, that was the ball game. SOULKEY I don't think he's even looked at taking a third base today. Maybe he sent something down here to see if he can go here, but up this way, yeah, this base has not even been scouted by anybody yet, including SOULKEY. So, yep, he needs to win a battle, kill a couple bases, and maybe get back into this thing, but Down 132 to 93 supply, 47 to 39 workers at this stage of the game. Irradiates are big. Right? They're big. I'm not going to say Irradiates are not enough to get back in this game, but maybe Irradiates are not enough to get back in this game. So the top left base of Flash is... He might, you know... Yeah, he's going to lose it. I don't think he can save it with this. Nah, does SOULKEY want to snipe the hatch, or does he want to fight this army? I don't know. He doesn't like any of that. He doesn't like any of this. Look at him pulling back into a corner to avoid the surround. Flash is kind of doing the same thing, but a bajillion more cracklings came in with 1-2 upgrades. The Marines are at 2 attack and 1 armor, along with the rest of their infantry friends, but dude, you can't just go home. Holding at the top of the ramp against this might not be too bad. Some cracklings do come in. Ensnare goes down. Queen eats it, though. Goes down 4. Irradiate Ultralisk doing bonus damage to these already green Marines. And SOULKEY's just... He's not even microing, dude. This group's not microing because this group is coming... Okay, hold on. SOULKEY finds another base of Flashes. Oh gosh, are there enough Ultralisks? Nice Science Vessel snipe, by the way. Are there... These Ultras have the 5 armor, man. Ugh. Yeah, this is it. Too many Lings, too many Ultras with 2 good upgrades. Flash casually deals with the 2-port Wraith without losing really too much. Kills all of the Wraiths. Follows up with a Ling Ultra strat with Queen support like an absolute boss and gets the win. Holy Hannah. That was insane. What a great display of how to play TVZ from Flash. But again, he's played the other side of this a hajillion times. He knows how to play from the Terran perspective against a Zerg and from the Zerg perspective against a Terran. Right? He's got both of these things figured out. He's played StarCraft for so many years and so many games. And yeah, got the 3rd base up, and I think that was the beginning of the end. SOULKEY, for whatever reason, has never really felt comfortable taking a 3rd. Again, never even tried, which I find very confounding. The fact that there wasn't even an attempt over here. So, yeah, it was just the 3rd base was up. The 3rd gas happened. Started working on Ultralisks. Started working on Lings with upgrades. Used the Queens to ensnare these poor Marines. And then good Scourge connections on a bunch of Science Vessels. Expanded top left, expanded bottom right. And, I mean, that was it, man. Put a fork in it. Flash is better at Zerg than SOULKEY is at Terran. I think it's fair to say. So that was great. I mean, that was a really fantastic display of how to play Zerg from Flash, of all people. 97,000 points here to 77,000. Let's see here. 315 units produced at 221. Outkilled the Terran player with that. Structures raised. No buildings went down. And outspending the Terran player by 7,000 resources in 16 minutes. Yep. That'll do. That will do. Pig. Man. So good. All right. That was an absolutely fantastic showing of TVZ. That was super fun. I really enjoyed it. And that's going to be it for me today. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. If you like what you saw and what you heard today, you can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.